Many of you may already know that Reform UK has long voiced serious concerns about the state of illegal immigration in Britain. Now, Richard Tice, a prominent figure from the party, has come forward with alarming claims about illegal migrants, along with his uncompromising views, during a debate at Westminster Hall. Watch the following segment closely, because what he shares isn't just controversial, it raises major questions about the integrity of Britain's current immigration and labour enforcement systems. According to Tice, one major issue that's flying under the radar is the scale of illegal employment, particularly within the gig economy. He highlighted what he described as a massive, unreported problem within fast food delivery services. Based on his statements, anywhere from 40 to 50% of these deliveries are now being completed by individuals operating under rented sub-accounts, accounts that are not legally theirs. These accounts, he explained, are often rented out by the original account holders for £50 to £60 per week, sometimes arranged through Facebook. The question he posed was simple but powerful. Why would someone pay to use a sub-account when they could just sign up for their own, unless they're not legally allowed to work in the UK? If you've ordered food recently, Tice suggests you pay close attention to the delivery driver. Often, he claimed, the person delivering your food is not the person registered on the account, making this an organized, widespread issue that speaks to much deeper systemic failings. He continued, explaining that this underground system of illegal working is directly affecting British workers, particularly those who previously relied on delivery jobs for a decent income. In towns he has visited and spoken with residents, many said their wages were being driven down, undercut by illegal workers who don't operate under the same tax or legal restrictions. The result, he argued, is a profound lack of fairness. But the revelations didn't stop there. Tice also brought attention to what he termed illegal legal migration, a newer, more cunning form of abuse of Britain's immigration system. He claimed that in areas like Boston, Skegness, and beyond, individuals are arriving in the UK on visitor visas, only to immediately seek fraudulent routes into legal status. According to him, some high street shops are helping newcomers manipulate documents to falsely claim they were in the UK before 2020, allowing them to apply under the EU settlement scheme. This tactic, Tice said, gives these individuals access to national insurance numbers, employment, and soon after, public benefits, all without having ever lived in the UK before. It's not just an abuse of the system, he argued, it's a multi-layered fraud on a national scale, and it's growing. Tice urged the government to tighten enforcement and restore competence to the agencies responsible. This is, in his view, the only way to protect British workers' wages, prevent further strain on public housing, and re-establish public trust. He welcomed the chair of the session, and then made one final appeal. While he personally supports legal migration done correctly, what the UK has experienced in recent years has, in his words, resulted in massive problems that millions across the country are deeply concerned about. In conclusion, he emphasized the need for smart policy, tough enforcement, and a focus on empowering the existing British population, upskilling, creating jobs, and reducing dependence on mass inward migration. He ended with a pointed message: if any government can get this right, they will win the enduring trust of the British people, because ultimately, all the public wants is for someone to finally do this job properly. So what's your take? Are these claims exaggerated, or do they reflect a growing crisis? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Turning now to another major political development, just a few days ago, Prime Minister Keir Starmer was confidently promoting his vision for deep welfare reforms. Now, under immense political pressure, he's being forced to do an abrupt U-turn. So what changed? And why did more than 120 Labour MPs from his own party nearly push him to the brink? Let's break down one of the most intense internal political battles since Starmer assumed office. After weeks of rising tension, Starmer has withdrawn his highly controversial proposal to cut £5 billion from the UK's welfare budget. Only days earlier, he had firmly rejected any compromise and dismissed the backlash from his own MPs as political noise. But as criticism intensified, Parliament grew restless, and murmurs of a leadership challenge began to echo through Westminster. By Friday, Downing Street was under siege from within. a government spokesperson was dispatched to confirm that Starmer had accepted 3 major concessions to prevent an outright mutiny. This was no ordinary policy dispute, it was a potential leadership crisis. At the core of the rebellion was Labour's plan to reduce eligibility for personal independence payments, PIP, and tighten universal credit access. These proposed changes could have impacted up to 800,000 people, many of whom live with disabilities or long-term illnesses. Starmer defended the move as a necessary attempt to control the ballooning welfare budget. But critics across the political spectrum condemned the plan as harsh, regressive, and deeply inhumane. The internal backlash came swiftly. Vicky Foxcroft, a government minister, resigned in protest. Meanwhile, 126 Labour backbenchers co-signed an amendment designed to block the welfare cuts. Leading the rebellion was Dame Meg Hillier, chair of the Treasury Select Committee, whose pressure ultimately forced the Prime Minister to fold.